Today on MTG Unpacked, I'm trying my hand at Mill in the standard format near the end of January 2025. So coming up on a week and a half or so before the pre-release of the new set Ether Drift. So I basically went on to Scryfall, did a bunch of hunting around for mill cards, and this is what I ended up with. So if you're not familiar, milling, you're taking either your cards or opponent's cards from the top of the library and dumping them in the graveyard. So let's take a look at what we've got here. We'll start off at the lower end here. A 1/1 for a single black Gnawing Vermin creature rat. When it enters, target player mills 2 cards, and when it dies, target creature you don't control gets -1/-1 until end of turn. So a nice little bit of removal there for any tokens or whatever that the opponent has laying around. Next up, we've got a Cruel Somnophage, creature nightmare, star for 1 and a black. Has Can't Wake Up 1 and a blue, sorcery adventure. Target player mills 4 cards, so you're almost always going to want to do that left hand side first. And once you've done that, he's on an adventure, then you can cast the creature portion. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of creature cards in all graveyards. So these things can get honkin' huge. It's pretty crazy. So we have 4 of those. Then we have 2 Desperate Bloodseeker creature vampire, 2/2 for 1 and a black. Has lifelink, and when it enters, target player mills 2 cards. So I just needed to fill out the mana curve with some low end creatures. So put a couple of those in. Then we have a couple of flyers here. 2 Flitting Gorilla, creature fairy rogue, 2/2 for 2 and a black, flying. And when it dies, each player mills 2 cards, and you may exile Flitting Gorilla. And when you do, put target creature or battle card from your graveyard on top of your library. So you do get a little bit of a benefit there. This is primarily for its mill, and also I really needed some flyers here because you're often up against opponents with flying creatures. Next up, we've got Coral Colony, creature wall, 1/4 for 1 and a blue, defender for 1 and a blue. Tap, target player mills X cards, where X is the number of creatures you control with defender. In practice, you're normally only going to have a couple of these on the battlefield, so you're normally only milling a few cards each time, but that is sometimes the difference between winning and losing a game. So we have 4 of those. This one I would say is the MVP of the deck. Deep Muck Desperado, creature hominid mercenary, 2/4 for 2 and a blue. Whenever you commit a crime, each opponent mills 3 cards. This ability triggers only once each turn, and if you're not aware what the crime is, it says right there, targeting opponents, anything they control, and or cards in their graveyards is a crime. So you can see target player mills 4 cards, target player, and so on. So that will then trigger this only once each turn. So sometimes you have to change how you're playing the creatures. So very cool. We've got 4 of those. If you get a couple of these guys out, you can get some pretty insane milling going on. Then we have 2 of the Mind Skinner, legendary enchantment creature nightmare, 10/1 for 3 blue. It can't be blocked, and if a source you control would deal damage to an opponent, prevent that damage, and each opponent mills that many cards. I put this in just because of the milling action there. And honestly, this one doesn't tend to last long. People see that 10 and they go nuts and get rid of it. So I'm sure it will come up in some games. So he is also a legendary. So you don't want to have too many of those in the deck. Moving on here, we have some spells. Sorcery, Pilfer for 1 and a black. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. So in effect, getting rid of some of the threats from your opponent's hand, it can sometimes be a tough decision. We've only got 2 of those though. And then we have Unseal the Necropolis instant for 2 and a black. Each player mills 3 cards. That includes you. Then you return up to 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. So this one can be useful if you're finding your opponent is killing a bunch of your creatures. You can at least get some of them back in your hand. So just 2 of that one. Then we have 3 Dread Summons, sorcery for X and 2 black. Each player mills X cards for each creature card put into a graveyard. This way, you create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token. So this one's good for the late game where you have a whole bunch of mana available. So you're basically looking for 2 black and anything left over is milling. So that includes you as well, but you often get a whole bunch of zombies out of the deal. So that can really help build up your defenses. Then we have Founding the Third Path Enchantment Saga for 1 and a blue. This actually has read ahead, so you can skip ahead. So the first turn, or when you first cast it, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value 1 or 2 from your hand without paying its mana cost. If you don't have any, then it's better to just skip to the second step. Typically, I'm triggering on this one here, or maybe Pilfer. Or if I don't have either of those, then I'm just skipping that. The second step here, target player mills 4 cards. Third step, exile target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard, copy it. You may cast the copy. So that helps with some of these things that end up in the graveyard. You can bring them back, do a little additional milling. So just 2 of these. Then we have negate. Instant for 1 and blue, counter target non-creature spell. So that can be useful against things like board wipes or other nastiness that are trying to destroy your creatures. Just 2 of that. And then we have Jace, the Perfected Mind. Legendary Planeswalker Jace. It's a mythic. So 5 loyalty for 2 blue and a Phyrexian blue. So you can either pay that with a single blue mana or 2 life. Depending on how quickly I need him, I will do one or the other. His +1. Until your next turn, up to 1 target creature gets -3, -0. So it just blunts potential attacks from some of your opponent's creatures. His -2, target player mills 3 cards. Then if a graveyard has 20 or more cards in it, you draw 3 cards. Otherwise, you draw a card. I don't use that loyalty drop very often, but it has saved me in a couple of occasions. And his ultimate here, -X. Target player mills 3 times X cards. So normally you're looking at getting him to maybe 7 or 8 loyalty. So you can mill dozens of cards with that. So that can be a nice game finisher. Unfortunately, Jace tends to be a bit of a target from the opponent. We only have 2 of these just because he's a legendary, so you can only have 1 on the battlefield at a time. And this card is nuts. Sheoldred, legendary creature, Phyrexian Praetor, another mythic. 4/5 for 3 and 2 black, has menace. When it enters, each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature or planeswalker of their choice. So that in itself is a nice bit of removal, but the most fantastic part here, for 4 and a black, exile Sheoldred, then return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery and only if an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard. So hopefully you would have been doing a ton of milling. And so then it transforms into an enchantment saga. So as it enters and after your draw step, add a lore counter on the first step here for each opponent. Destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker that player controls. Each opponent discards 3 cards and mills 3 cards. You might say, okay, that's reasonable. And so that was the second step there. On the third step, put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. That is purely nuts. Exile the true scriptures and return it to the battlefield. The unfortunate thing is I've only ever triggered that against Sparky, which is the bot opponent that you usually test your decks against, but it is glorious if you can get that to go off. And this is another card. Opponent is going to want to get rid of that ASAP. So it does not tend to last long. Hopefully you can negate some of their removal. If we look at the mana base here now, 6 islands, 6 swamps. Then we have some multicolored lands here. Dark Slit Shores. So this one enters tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. Add blue or black. Gloomlake Verge, another land, tap for blue, or you can tap for black, activate only if you control an island or a swamp. And then finally, Restless Reef. So let's see here, we had 4 of the shores, 4 of the verge, and 4 of the reef here. Enters tapped. You can add blue or black, and for 2 blue and black, and to end of turn it becomes a 4/4 blue and black shark creature with death touch. I've actually done that a few times. That has saved my bacon. It's still a land, and whenever it attacks, target player mills 4 cards. So again, getting a little extra mill out of the deal. This is also useful if you are not getting the creatures you want. You're getting a whole bunch of lands. So this deck, gotta be honest, the win rate is not fantastic. When I was playing against Sparky, the bot opponent, I think I won like 80 or 90% of games. And you might say, that is fantastic. Well, play it against real people. I played 20 games against real people, only won 6. A couple of those people were scooping early on because they just could not deal with the mill. I did have a couple of interesting fun games. They tended to run a bit long, so I think I'll be including just the most interesting games here. There was also a fun loss I think I'll include as well. I went up against Heir Apparent. So if you missed my deck tech for that one, I'll pop a link in the corner. You can check it out. A little bit different than my deck that I ran, but still that was fun. So yeah, this is not quite ready for standard, I don't think. I'm hoping there'll be some more milling tools in Ether Drift. I've seen at least one card that looks like it could help. But let me know in the comments what you think about this deck. Have you tried any milling in standard recently yourself? And I will say this really doesn't hold a candle to my all-time favorite, the Fleet Swallower and Fraying Sanity combo. That is just insane. Basically mill your opponent's entire deck in one turn. So that is, I believe, still Pioneer legal. So without further ado, let's take a look at Dimir Mill. We've got a Shieldred. I'm going to mull it because we don't have the Deep Muck. There we go. That's a little better. Keep. We will get rid of the... Oh, actually that's handy. Let's get rid of the colony. Check the opponent has a sensible deck for a change. Bloodseeker. Swamp. Let's go maybe this guy. They're more likely to counter it or remove it. Yep, here we go. Create a food token. Land, let's do a Deep Muck. No attacks. So we need one more to bring out Shieldred. Sort of risky though. Let's try it. No attacks. Oh, there goes Shieldred. Yes. We would like a basic land. Okay, at least we can do the summons. So we have 3, 4, 7. So that'll be 5. No attacks. We got some zombies out of the deal though. Opponent down to 39. We have 43. Colony. Attackers, no attacks. Turn, nothing we can really do there. Actually, we do have we can create a shark. So can we trigger... That's when it attacks. Yeah, that doesn't really help us. Negate. And then he attacks. Got rid of that at least. Now he's milling himself. Okay, he's down to 24. Seems like they'd have a bunch of options though. Oh, he's a 6/6. Land. We don't have any more of those shark dudes, do we? And let's see, graveyard. So we'll attack here. Get some extra mill, no? Okay. Should have saved that for blocking, I think. Not many creature cards. We cannot allow that. That is actually not a bad hand. white knight token. So what are we dealing with here? 1 mana of any color. Oh my. So we've got a multi-color deck here. 5-color deck potentially. One blocker. Get rid of that. We have a deep muck. What is happening? Okay, another deep muck. You just know I gotta pop that one out there. I think it's gonna... No, it didn't get counted. Okay then. So many creatures, I have just that guy. Huh. Let's go the Mine Skinner. See if he wants to get rid of that thing. Spell and light, so target. Yeah, we got to counter that. And get some milling done at the same time. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, it's got a creature there. Block there. Okay, land. Yeah, we're gonna do that I think next. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That should help fill our graveyard for the next spell. It's a 3/3, no blocks, because we just want to mill. Pilfer. So, what do we need here? Mine Skinner. Maybe both of those look good. No attacks. Opponent is down to 32. We are down to 39. he's got a target on his back. Oh, maybe not. I don't like that hand you've got there. It was just a land. Okay, we'll save that guy for our next turn, but we can bring this dude out. Oh no, we don't want to do that. He's legendary, I forgot. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, we don't have enough for that. Life gain. That thing's getting pretty big. Get some more milling. And then we go this guy. And we'll hold on to the other Somnophage there for the next turn to get more milling done. Enduring Courage. Scry 1. Okay, so now we can do some interesting things. We have 3 triggers. Opponent is milled out. Didn't really have to attack, but it's game over. That's a bit of an icky hand. Doesn't really help us much. Oh, that does though. Keep. We can probably afford. Oh, you know what? I'm greedy. No. Let's dump the land. Let's take the risk. Greed is good. Oh, and we got a Jace. Yes. Oh no, not this. Heir apparent. I got a comment on this. And what do we do against that deck? We gotta bring Jace on the scene. We gotta do it. Another rabbit. I don't know that I can deal with that. Everybody's attacking Jace. I can't deal with that. This is a bad matchup, I swear. Another heir apparent. Well, let's block here and block here. We'll get rid of a couple of these dudes at least. We're down to 6. Get that guy. Then mill a whole bunch of stuff. Now that, oh, what? I should have checked that before. Nice. I didn't check. This is just funny. This shows the power of the heir apparent deck. I'm gonna keep, I guess. Alright, what are we dealing with here? Green. And we'll do this. So we can get a Somnophage. Target opponent. They do have a normal sized deck there, thankfully. Reach and Death Touch. And let's go land. And a Bloodseeker. Opponent now down to 40 lands. If this creature attacks, you must blah blah blah. Okay. We'll hang on to that. Let's go with the colony, I think. What is the opponent up to? Actually, the opponent doesn't have many lands, so that's really going to hurt him. If they choose to continue. Oh, he's going to get rid of the colony, I think. Oh. Maybe not. Okay, then. Let's see here. Target player. Let's go Jace. I think it's time.
Phyrexian's plans are already in motion. You can be made to obey.
Guess everybody's gonna start attacking Jace now. Does he have Death Touch? No. Oh, come on. Exiling Jace. So sad. Okay, we'll go another colony. Summon the Phage. Reach Death Touch. No attacks. So I'll try to creature. Oh, Scavenging Ooze. Life gain. Okay. How much did they have? 37. That's going to take a while. Dread Summons. Oh, I think we do this first. And we decline that. Activate that. No attacks. Really want to mill more if I can. Get some more zombies that way. Yeah, it's tough with Jace gone, then you can't just mill them out towards the end. Sacrifice a creature, go my life, draw a card, okay. Oh no, he's a 4/4. Now he's a 5/5, he just keeps growing. Mill, please. Now I think we do the summons. Get a couple of zombies out of the deal. What are they down to? 27. Huh. Yeah, that ooze is what I'm most worried about. Gaining life. Now he's an 8/8. Oh, we can exile him from my graveyard as well. That's nice, isn't it? Has he got any more green? Yes, he does. Well, now he's a 7/7. That is just plain nastiness. You may cast the copy. So what do we want? 3, I guess. See if we get any. Oh, my Jace went into the graveyard as well. So he's down to 22. Oh boy. This is a long slog. This creature can't be blocked. Okay then. Gets rid of that. Okay, that's a bit of a problem. That was my beefiest dude. Reef. Opponent down to 18. So let's see, we've got to go. $14, no attacks. Then I guess we gotta turn our land and attack. That will get rid of more. Or what is it? That only gets us. Target player mills 4. We can still mill 4 that way. Yeah. Now he's a 9/9. Shieldred about now would be really nice. We do actually have one in the deck. It's probably been banished though. Okay, mill. Mill some more. And then can I... 1, 2... Oh, we don't quite have enough to pay for that. No attacks. Opponent down to 8. Ooh. It's minus 2. I can't do anything about that. Yeah, I mean, if they've got removal, I think we're dead in the water. They've got 8 more cards in their deck. Oh, he's gonna beef up the ooze. It's gonna be an 11, I guess. $10. Or we could probably make it a 12. Sure. Now it's an 11. It resolves. Is he just going to attack with everything? This guy has trample. Block with a couple of zombies. Oh boy. What do we got? A land. Okay. Here's what we got to do. Pay that. Then... and I really hope we have what we need. Attack with this dude. They mill. They should be down to 0. Yes!